This is Tanya Biglow coming to you live one more time with a tad bit of training. And for those of you who don't know, I am your philosophical physicist using science to get you unstuck. And for many of you, I also serve as your CODA coach. And if anyone wants to know any more about what CODA actually stands for, you can reach out to me on social media. However, I'm here today with some more information for you. So I'm not going to prolong the time, and I'm not going to be with you very long. So let's go ahead and get started. So I know many of you have something that you're working towards, right? You have a goal, you have a dream, you have an outcome that you want to achieve, and you're trying to figure this all out. How do I actually get there? What's the pathway? What's my journey, my life's journey, right? So today I want to talk about the 3 most common mistakes people make when they're pressing towards their goal. 3. There's a couple more, but today we're going to talk about the 3 most common mistakes people make when they're pressing towards their goal. So hopefully you have a pen and a piece of paper and you're ready to rock and roll. All right, so here we go. Action number 1, lack of planning. You see, everything has to have some type of format. We cannot go through life just winging it, right? And I know that there are some people who go way, way, way to the right, where they are overanalyzing. They have to know every single detail before they actually get started. They want to dot every I, they need to cross every T, and once everything is outlined, then they have to go back over and double check and make sure that that's right, and then do that again, and they're always changing, right? So you have that end of the spectrum. But then you also have someone on the total opposite side that's just free falling, like, oh, I'll just kind of let life happen. I don't have a plan. I don't have a goal. I don't have anything to reach for. And then they wonder why craziness keeps showing up. So one worries about why craziness keeps showing up, and the other one is worried about why they are never able to obtain traction and momentum in what it is that they're working towards. So we want to make sure that we actually have some planning in place as it relates to the goals that we're setting. But even within that, let's talk about 3 different things that we need to make sure are in order when we're planning. So 1, we have to have structure. Everything has a structure. The house that you live in has a structure. The car that you drive in has a specific structure. The body that your spirit, your soul resides in has a structure. It's a physical being. The human body is the entire structure of the human being. So everything has a structure, right? So now in planning, we want to make sure that we know how the structure of whatever it is that we're shooting for is going to look. But then number 2, we want to make sure that in planning, we not only know what the structure of it is going to be, but we also have systems in place. Now, this is one thing I've learned, and I can't even remember who was the first person to say it, but this is one thing that I know. People fail, but systems work every time. You put something within the system and it goes and it flows. You don't have to make sure that it's working. As long as you know that you put that system in place, then it works. So if we're looking at the human body, right, which is a structure, within that structure, our human body are various systems. And you know what a system is. It's just a set of things connecting parts and forming. It makes the whole thing, right? So if we look at our bodies, we actually have 12 different systems that are running, right? And this is not biology. We're not going through the entire anatomy, right? But just looking at it, even our system, our structure, our body has 12 systems. We have our circulatory system and our respiratory system, and we have our digestive system, and then we have our nervous system, and we have 12 total, and all of those are housed inside of the structure of our body. So we want to make sure that no matter whatever goal we're working towards, it has a structure, but then you also have systems in place, and you've tested those systems, and those systems work, whether you do or not. All you have to do is just go back, test, and make sure that everything is working. You look real quick. Okay, good. Now, the third area that we want to focus on in our number one, making sure that we actually plan, because that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make, lack of planning, is making sure that we have processes in place. Yep, I said it. So our bodies, right, has a structure, and then we have systems that work within that structure. But if we look at this, all of those systems actually have specific processes, different functions that they perform in order to make sure that the actual end result is achieved, right? So if we look at the circulatory system, it's responsible for transporting our blood back and forth. Like, if that didn't happen, then there will be a huge malfunction, right? So we want to make sure that, one, we have a structure around whatever it is that we're planning. Two, we have systems in place to make sure that the structure is able to remain strong, and then understanding what all those processes are for the systems, okay? So one, most common mistake, lack of planning. Two, the most common mistake is focusing on the wrong things. Listen, you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it twice, many of you have heard me say it multiple times. Energy is everything, and everything is energy. So we want to make sure that we are focusing our energy, focusing our attention, focusing our work on the correct things. But what most people do, they focus on the wrong things. They focus on what I can't do, where I can't go, who can't support me, how, I don't know how to make this work. I mean, there are so many different areas where we focus our attention on, and all that does is just create more chaos. It just creates more insanity. It creates more doubt in our minds that we would never be able to make or accept or obtain the outcome that we're actually looking to achieve. So, biggest mistake number two is focusing on the wrong thing. The third most common mistake that people make when they're actually pressing towards their goal is quitting before you win. Ladies and gentlemen, failure is just a part of the process. And I say failure very loosely because I really don't believe in failure. I know that you may take a step and the action that you take may not actually result in the actual outcome, but if you are pursuing something with diligence, if you are on purpose and you're doing things and you're testing and you're tweaking and you're going back and revamping in a systematic way, then taking the action and that action not equating to exactly what you want, I don't really look at that as failure. I look at that as feedback. I look at it and say, okay, I tried this, it didn't work, but now I know not to do that again. So I'm going to keep my goal in place. I'm just going to try a different process, a different system, different structure. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to make mistakes. We're human. And this is one thing that I do know. The only time that I've really, really learned my lessons, right? The only time when it really stuck hard to me, where, you know, there was no question that I messed up and I have to do something else, is when I made a mistake. Mistakes are a part of life. And I know that in our conditioning through traditional school or through a lot of other areas, maybe with our parents or in certain groups, we were highly penalized for making mistakes, for having an error, for not getting 100% right. And it's really an oxymoron because we want to really congratulate those people who get 100, and that's good, that's great, that's awesome. But just because you failed or just because you did not get 100 does not mean that you will never get from where you are to where you want to be. It just may take you 12 steps as opposed to another person taking one step. It may take you 409 steps. It may take you 10,000 steps. But if you are truly dedicated, if you have set up some highly concentrated disciplines based around the choice that you've made for yourself, if you know that you are in direct alignment, correct alignment with the people and the areas and the energy that you must be in order to get that goal, then you're going to win every time. So don't quit before you win. Stop focusing on the wrong things and make sure you plan. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Told you I was going to be quick on this one. Hey, listen, if you want to know some more about CODA, your choices dictating your outcomes being a direct alignment with your disciplines, and your disciplines actually showing up around your alignments, holla at your girl. This has been Tanya Biglow coming to you live and full effects. I want to thank you. And until we chat again, I want to say peace. Bye-bye for now. And I'll see you in the next training. Bye-bye.